Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones.
And I'm Peter Dubois. First tonight, the trial of a Stockton Springs mother accused of killing her 3-year-old son has been postponed 1 week.
Our AJ Douglas has the details.
The lead attorney for the state has tested positive for COVID-19, which prompted Justice Robert Murray to pause court proceedings.
Jessica Williams stands accused of killing her 3-year-old son, Maddox Williams, back in 2021. According to police records, the child suffered a fractured spine, bruises, broken teeth, bleeding in his brain, and other injuries. Williams is also widely known by a different alias, including Jessica Trefevin. Court officials confirmed the trial will resume October 17th. In studio, AJ Douglas, ABC 7, Fox 22.
Waterville Police Department's HOPE program is one of many ongoing efforts to combat the current opioid epidemic. Our Matthew Jurancic has more.
Just the fact that they walk through those 2 front doors, the first thing I always say is how proud I am of them.
Waterville Police Department's Hope Angel Beverly Fairchild says she's encouraged every time she sees someone suffering from an opioid addiction seeking help. She's part of Operation Hope, or Heroin Opiate Prevention Effort. Operation Hope Coordinator Robert Booley says Hope Angels work with the police department to combat the current opioid crisis and support those seeking recovery.
It is the part that actually is helping place and get people into treatment facilities. And then the other parts we have is education and enforcement. But it's a very valuable one because it affects not just the person with the addiction, but it also affects the families. So it's making a big difference in that factor.
Started in 2017 by Richland Chief Deputy Joseph Massey and Waterville Deputy Chief of Police William Bonney, Operation Hope has been embraced by the Waterville community.
They both noticed that, hey, we're enforcing the laws and we're getting drugs off the streets, but at the same time, we have a lot of people who are being affected by the use of the drugs, and that the community is greatly affected.
It starts right here with this phone call, where a phone call is made to a detox center before being put into detox houses like right behind me to fight addiction.
It just warms my heart. It just warms my heart seeing the sense of relief knowing that there's a plan, that they have a plan to get help. It can be a day or two before we can actually get them into a detox facility because of a shortage of beds.
At one point during the pandemic, Operation Hope Coordinator Robert Booley says he and his team had to overcome many obstacles.
Even through COVID, which was a hard time because we couldn't do, our different Operation Hope fundraisers, but we've made it through with different donations from the city and or from businesses.
Although the state saw a record number of overdose deaths last year, Fairchild believes that there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
9 times out of 10, the answer is going to be, I want to change my life. I can't do this anymore. Well, at the end, when they leave, it's just that, again, they have a sense of relief and knowing that help is on the way.
Matthew Jurancic, ABC 7 and Fox 22.
Well, the Kennebec County Sheriff's Office has issued a silver alert for 71-year-old Michael Holmes of Vienna. According to Maine State Police, Mr. Holmes was last seen on foot leaving a residence on Tower Road in Vienna Thursday, October 6th, with plans to go to Winthrop. He has not been seen by family since. Police say Mr. Holmes suffers from cognitive issues. He is a white male, 6 feet tall, 225 pounds, with brown hair and blue eyes. Mr. Holmes does not have his cell phone on him, and it is unknown what he was last wearing. If you see him or have any information, you're asked to call 911 or the Kennebec County Sheriff's Office. That number right there on your screen, 207-624-7076.
Meanwhile, Auburn police are investigating a shooting at a residence on Turner Street. According to Lieutenant Anthony Harrington, police were dispatched to 250 Turner Street around 10 p.m. Monday after the caller reported someone had just shot their television. Officers confirmed a shot had been fired into the first-floor apartment from outside. Nobody was injured, and the suspected shooter had fled the scene by the time police arrived. Investigators believe the apartment was targeted, and this was not a random act. The investigation remains active, and anyone with information is asked to contact Detective Matthew Johnson at 207-333-6650, extension 2082.
Well, Maine lobster fishermen have hired a former high-ranking U.S. Department of Justice official to represent them in their case against new federal laws intended to protect critically endangered North Atlantic right whales that they say jeopardizes the future of the industry. The Maine Lobstermen's Association is appealing its case against the new rules to the U.S. Court of Appeals for D.C. District Court. The group said Tuesday it has hired Paul Clement, who served as U.S. Solicitor General from 2004 to 2008, to represent them in the case. Clement said NOAA is required by statute to take into account the best scientific and commercial data, and he believes the agency has failed to do that.
The Lobstermen's Association and everybody, I think, cares very much about protecting endangered species, but the statute requires the agency to strike a balance based on the best available science. And instead, the agency here has essentially erred on the side of the species at every turn and indulged a series of worst-case scenarios as opposed to what's likely to happen in the real world.
Clemens said this is an instance of agency overreach on the part of NOAA, and what drew him to the case is the undeniable impact to real people and an iconic industry. He said there is no doubt that the future of the industry hangs in the balance.
Authorities are investigating the discovery of human remains in Acadia National Park. Acadia Park Public Affairs Assistant Nate Parkinson says the remains were found last week. He says although it's not a criminal case, National Park Service rangers and Maine State Police are investigating. We'll keep you updated as more information becomes available.
Well, Maine Republicans addressed concerns over rising heating costs today. During a press conference, Republican legislators criticized Governor Janet Mills and Efficiency Maine for the 2019 incentive program, which provides rebates and financial assistance to purchase electric cars. The 2019 initiative also authorized the expansion of public charging stations. Legislators spoke in opposition to this program by arguing that the funding is geared towards wealthy Mainers and saying the funding should instead go towards helping those struggling to keep up with heating oil costs as winter approaches. Democrats argue efficiency programs are taking steps to ultimately decrease those heating costs.
The Mainers in Piscataquis, Penobscot, and all of our counties that are struggling already to pay their heating bills, we have a large increase in the number of applicants for heating assistance. Up to over 20,000 people have applied.
These oil prices are because of a supply and demand problem that's out of our control. We need to diversify and reduce our demand here in the state of Maine. We need to do it nationally if we're ever going to get control of these prices.
Republican legislators are proposing to reverse and even end policies that they say cause electricity costs to rise.
Well, as temperatures continue to drop, there is a special rebate program that will help Mainers stay warm and manage their heating bills during the winter heating season. Efficiency Maine has a limited-time winter prep rebate, which will reimburse homeowners and tenants up to $100 towards the purchase of select weatherization and insulation products, including weather stripping, spray foam sealant, window insulation shrink kits, and foam board insulation, among other items. The details are available on the Efficiency Maine website. They also have a downloadable flyer providing winter energy saving tips. A lot of good things to keep in mind, especially for homeowners, just little things they can do to their home to just kind of, reinforce against those ultra cold temperatures that we're used to.
And timely advice too, because you can take those steps now. Well, it's a little brisk, but it's certainly still fairly mild.
Yeah.
So you take those steps now before those really frigid temperatures set in, and then it becomes an emergency situation.
Absolutely. No one wants to be out in the cold doing that stuff.
Absolutely, or inside in the cold for that matter.
Exactly.
All right. Well, with a little bit more on what we can expect weather-wise, let's take a first look at our forecast.
All right, thank you. Your first weather is brought to you by GRF Real Estate Company, 29A Belmont Avenue in Belfast. And all right, so for us, our lows this morning were pretty low, right? 27 here in Bangor, also Millinocket. It will not be this cold tonight, as we had high temperature today up near 60. Tomorrow we're going for mid-60s, and then we could even get a couple of you close to 70 by tomorrow afternoon. Lots of clear skies out there now. That was not the case all day long today. We're going to stay dry, though, for tomorrow and also Thursday before our next weather system gets in here on Friday. Our forecast then for tonight, though, is mostly clear skies, not as cold, with low temperatures down near 38. Your full forecast is coming up.
Alrighty, Jeff, thanks so much. And still to come on Fox 22 News at 10, the League of Women Voters of Maine issues a user-friendly voting guide ahead of the November election.
We'll have that story and much more after this short break.
Your representative has your back.
Who's he kidding? Jared Golden votes with Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden 83% of the time. The result? A war on the middle class, the worst inflation in 40 years, sky-high energy prices, drugs pouring over the border. And Jared Golden just voted for 87,000 new IRS agents to hassle the middle class. Jared Golden doesn't have your back. He has theirs. The NRCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
I'm 82 years old and I have collapsed arches, which means the first thing that hits the ground is the bone in my arch. I came to Comfort Shoes 4 years ago because I couldn't walk without pain. And she spent so much time on my feet getting the right shoe, and we finally found the right pair. Once you made these orthotics for me, I have no pain. These are so comfortable. I have no discomfort. I feel like I could go running. And I thank you and Comfort Shoes for that.
We can go into a room and have absolutely nothing in there, nothing on the windows, no color, no character, no tone to a room.
That's, I think, where we're strongest, is being able to help someone envision what's going to go in that window.
And we leave, it's totally transformed into something that the customer wants it to be. We've often been told we make a room look better just by leaving it.
Go get it. Go.
Hey, I was hoping you'd be here.
I think they like each other.
I'm Charles. Lunch?
Vanessa. I like lunch.
Bacon. For a limited time, get 2 Bacon McDouble burgers for $3.99. Or get 1 with a McChicken for only $3.99. Only at McDonald's.
An outrageous elimination.
Are you kidding? No way!
Could split the panel.
She can't sing. Oh, he said it.
Someone's got to do it.
The Masked Singer, all new Wednesday on Fox.
Hello, everyone. Coming up on the next edition of Good Morning Maine, the latest from a Belfast courtroom where a Stockton Springs woman is on trial for the murder of her son. We'll also head up to the UMaine Water Festival at the University of Maine, giving middle schoolers from around the state a chance to learn some amazing things. We'll see you in the morning.
Welcome back. Maine has a new Teacher of the Year. 9th grade social studies teacher Matt Bernstein from Casco Bay High School was chosen as the 2023 Teacher of the Year. His selection was announced during a surprise event this morning. Teachers of the Year are recognized for commitment to teaching excellence and nurturing the achievement of all students. They spend a year of service advocating for students and teachers and speaking to the importance of education in preparing Maine students for their futures.
And congratulations to Mr. Bernstein. Well, a new easy-to-read voter guide is now available thanks to the efforts of the League of Women Voters of Maine. Those who log on to vote411.org will find examples of sample ballots, how ranked choice voting works, and information on in-person and absentee voting. Jen Lancaster with the League of Women Voters of Maine says her organization is a nonpartisan political group that strives to make voting more accessible and understandable for all who cast a ballot.
We'll see, this is what a yes vote means, this is what a no vote means, so that you actually know what will happen depending on which way that you vote. So we want people to understand that, of course, there are the really big races, but there are also those really important local races like town council, city council, school board, and those decisions can greatly impact where you are.
The League of Women Voters also plans to distribute tangible copies of the voter guide to local libraries so more voters have access to what will be available on this year's ballot.
A 2-decade-long legal battle ends after a judge rules in favor of a $187 million settlement over mercury cleanup in the Penobscot River. The settlement requires Mallinckrodt US LLC to pay for mercury remediation methods. According to the Maine People's Alliance, the plant, located in Orrington on the banks of the Penobscot, released tons of mercury into the river over a span of several years. Maine People's Alliance and Natural Resources Defense Council initially sued Mallinckrodt back in 2001 to advocate for cleanup efforts. Jesse Graham began working with Maine People's Alliance in 1999 when the lawsuit was filed. The organization's co-director says Tuesday's ruling is just the beginning.
Much cleaner river, surely a much cleaner river. I don't know if we'll ever get it clean, but I think that we're really excited about the ruling and that this will go forward. So, this will restore the river.
The chlorine plant was ordered to pay at least $187 million and up to $267 million to an independent trust that will fund and implement restoration of the river. Mallinckrodt spokesperson Mark Robinson sent a statement saying in part, quote, "We are very pleased that Judge Woodcock has approved the settlement. The parties reached the agreement after thorough and thoughtful discussions," end quote. And still to come on the Fox 22 News at 10, U.S. Senate candidates ramp up their campaign efforts in swing states in an effort to retake control of the Senate.
And Russia continues targeting civilians in its latest attacks as Ukraine seeks additional aid from the U.S. We'll have those stories and more as the 10 p.m. news on Fox 22 continues.
I have a great job. I get up early, head on out, and I get to work. I install solar panels. They power our homes and give me a great paycheck. When Paul LePage was governor, he opposed projects like this, putting Maine last for solar jobs in New England. He even said that climate change wasn't a threat to Maine. Look, we need more of these jobs, and that won't happen if we go back to Paul LePage.
The top funder of Better Maine is the Democratic Governors Association.
Life Home Care is a great place to work. The team here provided me with all the opportunities and experience necessary to grow within the company, all while working around my busy college schedule. They provided all the necessary licensing and training. It truly was the job that kickstarted my career.
Autumn of Life Home Care in Brewer is a licensed agency with personal support specialists.
Let our compassionate, reliable, considerate caregivers make your life a little easier by providing assistance for you or your loved one.
Autumn of Life Home Care. We focus on you. Apply today.
At Bouchard Cleaning, rebuilding and restoring means more than just another job. To us, it's about bringing back cherished memories, restoring unforgettable moments in time, and giving hope when all was thought to be lost. For over 35 years, our mission has remained the same. You keep the memories, we'll handle the rest. Statewide commercial and residential services. Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration.
You'll find something for everyone at Maine's #1 Kia dealer, Van Sickle Kia. Looking for an excellent all-wheel drive SUV? Kia has you covered with the all-new all-wheel drive 2023 Kia Sportage, or check out the 2023 Kia Forte with a list of standard Kia driver assist features, including auto emergency braking and up to 41 mpg highway. With 15 models to choose from, Kia has you covered, and you'll get Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
The best cars, the best prices, and the best warranty. I'm Peter Van Sickle. I guarantee it.
You're watching Fox 22, Bangor.
Welcome back. Many legal and counterterrorism analysts are urging the Biden administration to get more aggressive in its handling of drug cartels smuggling deadly fentanyl into the U.S. Some are even pushing for the drug to be classified as a weapon of mass destruction. Fox's Jillian Turner has more.
We need to really use every authority we have to go after these cartels, just as we went after every foreign terrorist organization after September 11th.
Experts are warning Mexican drug cartels trafficking fentanyl across the U.S. southern border now pose a threat to America's national security on par with ISIS and al-Qaeda. They also say fentanyl is much deadlier than drugs terrorists have deployed to kill targets in the past.
Fentanyl could be used just like the Taliban used poppy, which is ultimately they put it out on the market and they were able to gain money and funds to fund some of their terrorist activities.
Texas's Attorney General recently designated drug cartels as terrorist organizations. Dozens more attorneys general are calling on the federal government to designate fentanyl a weapon of mass destruction.
We have enlisted Department of Defense and the Office to Counter Weapons of Mass Destruction, and that must happen now as it relates to fentanyl.
Despite battling the Sinaloa and Jalisco New Generation cartels since 2006, the Mexican government has had limited success. In many cases, the problem starts across the globe. The DEA says most U.S.-bound fentanyl is manufactured in China. Experts say the Chinese government also bears blame for the U.S. crisis.
The fentanyl gangs are laundering their proceeds through the Chinese state banking system. Communist Party is behind fentanyl. It is a co-conspirator. It is guilty of murdering Americans.
The U.S. government doesn't know the exact amount of Mexican and Chinese-sourced fentanyl Americans consume each year, but congressional leaders are now battling with Chinese officials, accusing them of failing to tighten controls on fentanyl production and exports. In Washington, Jillian Turner, Fox News.
Well, Ukraine is asking the U.S. and other Western allies for advanced missile defense systems as Russia continues pounding civilian targets from the sky. Fox's Trey Yingst has more from Kyiv.
A shocking new Russian air offensive entered its second day on Tuesday. Thousands of Ukrainians taking shelter as bombs, missiles, and drones hit cities across the country. The strikes appear to be aimed almost exclusively at population centers and civilian infrastructure, part of an apparent shift in Vladimir Putin's playbook, following heavy losses by Russian troops on the ground.
What Putin is resorting to right now is trying to defeat the Ukrainian people, trying to crush their will. And that's what these attacks are all about.
And those losses are piling up. Some Western estimates put the number of Russian battle deaths as high as 25,000 as Ukrainian forces keep retaking territory. But as this new air offensive ramps up, officials here are now asking for more defensive weapons, including the National Advanced Surface-to-Air Missile Systems, or NASAMS.
It's a small system. It takes 2 operators, but it's got a great slant range, 50 miles. It's got a radar that'll pick up well beyond that. And it's designed against drones and cruise missiles as well.
That was the main topic as G7 leaders met virtually on Tuesday to reaffirm their support for Ukraine. President Biden reassuring his Ukrainian counterpart of America's, quote, unwavering commitment to hold Russia accountable for its war, while President Zelensky vowed to keep fighting despite these new airstrikes.
The Russian leader still has room for further escalation, but we can overcome this threat. We have a formula for peace.
NATO members and allies are meeting on Wednesday to discuss deploying new air defense systems to Ukraine. In Kyiv, Trey Yingst, Fox News.
Well, several U.S. airports had their websites hacked this week, and now a group of pro-Russian hackers is claiming responsibility. Fox's Eric Shawn has more.
A pro-Russian hacking group says it knocked several U.S. websites offline this week. On Tuesday, that group, Killnet, said it hacked the entire network infrastructure of J.P. Morgan Chase Bank. While there has been no evidence the claim is true, officials say they are aware and monitoring the situation. Killnet also says it attacked the websites of more than a dozen U.S. airports on Monday, among them Chicago O'Hare, Los Angeles International Airport, and Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson. But airport officials say no flight operations were affected. Killnet has ramped up hacking in countries that oppose Russia's invasion of Ukraine. While the group supports the Kremlin, the Biden administration says its direct ties to Moscow are unknown.
We just don't really understand fully who's behind this, what the motivation was, certainly at what level, if any, Kremlin officials were aware. We just don't know. We're going to investigate this. We're going to try to get to the bottom of it.
Former U.S. Defense Intelligence Officer Rebecca Koffler says cyber warfare is part of Russia President Vladimir Putin's playbook. And it could increase, she says, in the months ahead as Moscow suffers more setbacks on the battlefield.
He's going to target exactly what he's targeting right now, the civilian infrastructure, with cyber attacks, space warfare operations, underwater strikes.
Last week, Killnet claimed responsibility for denial of service attacks on government websites in several states. In New York, Eric Shawn, Fox News.
Meanwhile, here in the U.S., the man accused of stabbing 8 people on the Las Vegas Strip will continue to be held without bail. According to an arrest report, Yoni Barrios asked 4 showgirls to take a picture with him. Barrios says he thought the girls were laughing at him, and that's when he stabbed the girls and then ran along the Vegas Strip and stabbed others. 2 of the victims, a showgirl and a man, died after being attacked. The 6 other victims were injured. According to the police report, Barrios said he hoped officers would shoot him. In court Tuesday, the judge set a preliminary hearing for January 12th of next year after Barrios waived his right to a preliminary hearing within 15 days.
Well, it's crunch time for control of the Senate. Every race could tilt the balance of power, and that includes Ohio and Georgia. Fox's Madeline Rivera reports from Washington.
GOP Senators Tom Cotton and Rick Scott hitting the campaign trail with embattled Georgia Republican Senate candidate Herschel Walker. Walker is battling allegations that he paid for a woman to have an abortion in 2009. The New York Times reports Walker urged the woman to have a second abortion 2 years later, but she refused.
He's also 100% against abortion access, even in the cases of rape or incest. So it creates a lot of other dynamics in this race, from hypocrisy to dishonesty.
They'll do whatever it takes, say whatever they have to say, because they want this seat right here.
The 2 senators trying to shore up support for the former football star show how high the stakes are.
Herschel Walker is going to help build a Republican majority in the United States Senate.
J.D. Vance, you get the first question.
The urgency of the moment also on full display in Ohio, where Democratic Congressman Tim Ryan and Republican author and investor J.D. Vance faced off in a contentious debate Monday night. But some say the race shouldn't be close.
Ohio is not a battleground state. It is a royal ruby red state.
The economy and inflation are still the top concerns for voters. However, Democrats are hoping the abortion issue gives them a boost, but others are skeptical.
This is not just a one-issue race on either side of the aisle. If you live in a border state, immigration is going to matter more.
Walker and incumbent Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock are expected to debate in Georgia on Friday. In Washington, Madeline Rivera, Fox News.
And still to come on Fox 22 News at 10, a Clinton couple is using their quilting talents to provide warmth and comfort to complete strangers.
And in sports, our Tyler Cruz sits down with the head coach of the Penobscot Pioneers hockey team to discuss his role and what to expect out of the new girls team. We'll be right back.
It's the Lego Masters Treehouse of Terror.
I can't do this anymore.
All new Lego Masters, Wednesday after The Masked Singer on Fox. Tomorrow morning on Star 97.7, Paul Dupuis has the music and fun. Sonny Shepard brings you Star 97.7 local news. And Steve McKay with the weather. Turn on your radio and get the Star treatment with Star 97.7.
Mainers took Jared Golden at his word, but he just broke his promise. Golden was a deciding vote for Biden's newest spending bill, even though he knew reckless spending would make inflation worse and everything more expensive. What's worse? Golden and Biden hiked taxes $1 billion on those making less than $50,000. Jared Golden, independent when convenient, liberal when it mattered. Congressional Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
We're lucky to live in Maine. We have a wealth of natural resources, hardworking people, and time for the things that matter. Mechanical Services is all about Maine, with energy efficiency that protects our environment and helps businesses grow. Preventive maintenance and energy solutions that save money. How Maine is that? Mechanical Services. We're everywhere you are in Maine.
Hey, it's Eric from Green Bear 420. We've been in business since 2010 and going strong, so stop in and check us out. We specialize in glass art by over 100 local artists and even have live glass blowing. Plus, we carry incense, novelties, t-shirts, and hard-to-find items. We have tons of local products for the tie-dye wearing person in your circle of friends. Come see us at 531 Moosehead Trail in Newport. And remember, Green Bear 420, it's not just a store, it's a lifestyle.
It's
It's a monster of a season.
The first time ever on Hell's Kitchen.
Battle of the Ages. The 20-somethings
These old geezers better learn.
versus the 40-somethings.
This old guy's here to play.
Who catches fire?
One of the best New York strips I've ever tasted.
Who goes down in flames?
Cold Wellington and pink chicken. You think I'm going to serve that to the lead singer of Kiss? Get out!
Hell's Kitchen Battle of the Ages. Thursdays on Fox and watch anytime on Hulu.
Tomorrow morning on Star 97.7, Paul Dupuis has the music and fun. Sonny Shepard brings you Star 97.7 local news. And Steve McKay with the weather. Turn on your radio and get the Star treatment with Star 97.7.
Welcome back. A Clinton couple is using their quilting talents to provide warmth and comfort to complete strangers. Jim and Fran Posick say they love creating and donating their handmade blankets. And as Jody Hersey tells us, Jim just completed his 1,000th quilt for charity.
The pieces, the front, the back, and the batting, and I assemble them. It's called a sandwich. I put a sandwich together.
79-year-old Jim Posick is a veteran and former mechanic who loves working with his hands. Most days, you'll find him in his basement quilting.
Using your brain and being physically active has been something I thought about to stave off Alzheimer's, dementia, or whatever. You need to use your brain to keep it busy.
It's Posick's mechanical mind that gave him the idea to computerize his long-arm quilting machine so he could make more blankets in a shorter amount of time. In the last 3 years, he has successfully completed 1,000 quilts.
Number 1,000, which is right here, I still enjoy looking at the pattern coming out.
Jim's wife, Fran, who is his biggest fan, is also an avid quilter.
Oh, it's like a quilt show every day. 1,000, that's amazing. People that quilt for a living do not produce that number of quilts.
The duo's handiwork is all donated to the Somerset Samplers, Quilts of Valor, and Project Linus, all organizations that help others.
Because like my daddy said, you can't live somewhere and not give back. You can't just take, you've got to give back.
In Clinton, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC 7 and Fox 22.
Just a great story there. Meanwhile, it's been a historic day for NASA. The space agency announcing it successfully nudged an asteroid off its orbit. Fox's Matt Finn has more on what this means for the planet and mankind.
A galactic grand slam 7 million miles from Earth. NASA announces its DART spacecraft successfully shifted the path of a small, harmless asteroid millions of miles away.
And after a 10-month journey, millions of miles, NASA successfully crashed a refrigerator-sized spacecraft into the asteroid Dimorphos.
The impact happened 2 weeks ago as part of a $325 million mission to test Earth's planetary defense. Multiple agencies and international partners work together on the project, several scientists describing it as a dress rehearsal for the day a killer rock threatens our planet.
And it just gave it a small nudge. But if you wanted to do this in the future, potentially, it could potentially work, but you'd want to do it years in advance.
NASA also saying DART not only shifted the asteroid's orbit, it also carved a crater into it. Telescope observations from Chile and South Africa reveal it created a comet-like trail of dust and rubble stretching several thousand miles. Planetary defense experts say that is the preferred outcome, rather than blowing it up and creating multiple pieces of debris that could rain down on Earth years from now.
This mission shows that NASA is trying to be ready for whatever the universe throws at us. I believe that NASA has proven that we are serious as a defender of the planet.
This is NASA's first attempt at shifting an asteroid or any object in space. Matt Finn, Fox News.
Entertainment icon Angela Lansbury has died. The actress, known across the TV, film, and stage landscapes, was 96 years old. Fox's Julie Banderas has a look back at the life of this acting legend.
She was one of the few actresses to cross over all three mediums, film, stage, and television.
I'm Angela Lansbury.
Angela Lansbury was born in London on October 16, 1925. Her father passed away when she was very young. Her mother, also an actress, encouraged her to take acting lessons as a child. But the family's time in England would soon end as World War II swept through Europe. Her mother moved the Lansbury clan to New York City in 1940. A few years later, it was off to Los Angeles and the beginning of Lansbury's acting career. In 1944, at age 17, she landed her first Hollywood role in Gaslight.
She's a tartar, ain't she?
From there, she earned her first Oscar nomination and a 7-year contract with MGM. She played Elizabeth Taylor's sister in National Velvet. The next year, she was nominated again for an Academy Award for The Picture of Dorian Gray. Lansbury was briefly wed to the late actor Richard Cromwell, but it was in 1949 that she'd marry the love of her life, Peter Shaw.
He traveled over from Hollywood just to be married in dear old London.
In the late 50s, it was the Great White Way that lured Lansbury away from Hollywood. In 1964, she starred in her first Broadway musical, Anyone Can Whistle. Over the years, Lansbury continued to make dozens of films, mostly in supporting character roles. Her third Oscar nomination came for playing the chilling mother in the 1962 classic, The Manchurian Candidate.
You are to shoot the presidential nominee through the head.
In 1966 came Jerry Herman's Mame.
I have the feeling that time has halted. I'd like 2 straws and a chocolate malted, 'cause that's how young I feel.
Her professional success overshadowed by trouble at home. The family's house in Malibu burnt to the ground in 1970. Shortly after, she and her husband learned their 2 children, Anthony and Deidre, both had drug problems. In 1975, Lansbury returned to Broadway, taking on the legendary role made famous by Ethel Merman, Mama Rose in the revival of Gypsy. In 1979, Sondheim's new musical, Sweeney Todd. But it was in 1984 that Lansbury became famous on a whole new level. CBS premiered a new series, Murder, She Wrote.
They almost did it. They were that close to getting away with it.
The show aired for 12 seasons. In 1991, in the middle of a hectic schedule on Murder, She Wrote, she somehow found time to lend her voice to a motherly teapot in Disney's animated feature Beauty and the Beast. In 2007, Lansbury returned to Broadway for the first time in 25 years, performing in the show Deuce. She appeared again on stage in Blythe's Spirit in 2009, a performance that earned Lansbury a Tony Award for Best Supporting Actress. Throughout her career, Lansbury won a total of 5 Tonys and 6 Golden Globes. She also received the Screen Actors Guild Lifetime Achievement Award, a classic lady whose great talent graced the entertainment industry.
Your representative has your back.
Who's he kidding? Jared Golden votes with Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden 83% of the time. The result? A war on the middle class, the worst inflation in 40 years, sky-high energy prices, drugs pouring over the border. And Jared Golden just voted for 87,000 new IRS agents to hassle the middle class. Jared Golden doesn't have your back. He has theirs. The NRCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Dude, can you believe we're graduating? And they helped us find a great job. Soon we'll be living the dream.
Exactly. I'm incredibly grateful for Maine Job Corps. If it wasn't for them, I'd be working an entry-level job and barely making it.
Let Team Maine Job Corps help find the career that's right for you. Call 561-8516.
When Ansley Moore of Better Homes and Gardens wants to know the local forecast, she logs on to foxbangor.com. Ansley has been a realtor since 2013. She works throughout the state of Maine with both buyers and sellers with a focus on the greater Bangor area. Great things are always cooking at the Ground. New menu, new specials with an amazing variety of choices for every taste. Good times, great service, and amazing food. Only at your locally owned Ground, Odland Road, Bangor.
Looking for a new work experience? Fox and ABC Bangor are partnering with local employers to feature the best local job opportunities, like this one.
Fariello Construction in Rockland is expanding and has immediate openings for laborers, transit mixer drivers, and dump truck drivers, loader operators, and a bookkeeper. To apply, visit their Facebook page at facebook.com/Fariello Construction or call 594-9840.
Baseball's biggest stars lead their teams in a fight for the crown. The MLB postseason on Fox.
Here we go. Your full weather is brought by Thornton Brothers in Lincoln. Buy a new or used Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram vehicle from us today. You make the drive, we'll make the deal. And all right, so what a deal this was, right? Lows this morning down in the 20s, a hard freeze across the entire region. That will not be this cold tonight. We'll actually have low temperatures down near 40 tonight. After we did this today, so a good recovery back up near 60 here in Bangor, 58 for Millinocket. We'll take it, but tomorrow we're talking mid-60s, and a couple of you, if you're lucky, could go for 70 tomorrow afternoon. Lows tonight down upper 30s, low 40s, recovering nicely for tomorrow. Back up mid-60s, even a couple upper 60s across our region tomorrow afternoon. So nothing really cold headed our way anytime soon. Our hard freeze was last night, so your plants are safe outside tonight with those low temperatures down near 40. Thus, there's no watches or advisories for cold weather this evening. However, it's mid-October, you know it's coming, just not for a couple days around here. So put a log on the fire. A gorgeous night tonight, a nice day for us tomorrow, and also for Thursday, followed by our next weather system getting in here on Friday. Right now, the winds are out of the south, around 3 to 5 miles per hour. This could go calm for a couple hours tonight. That gives us dense fog, as you know. I'll look for that about 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. But it also gives us pictures like this, a gorgeous view, of course, as the leaves are at peak right now. We're getting close to it, so get out there if you can. The scenery is just really good. All right, so lots of clear skies today. There were a couple of clouds across our region today, more northwest you went. But overall looking pretty good. So high pressure is building in for tonight and tomorrow and also for Thursday. But then there's a little something over here. That's a cold front across the Dakotas right now, slowly making its way toward us. It'll get here most likely on Friday and probably just in time for the football games on Friday night. So our forecast for tonight, though, is mostly clear skies. Some dense fog is likely late. I went with a low temperature, 38. Many of you will kind of get stuck near 40 this evening with a calm wind already out there now in spots. For tomorrow, all right, so partly cloudy. It's going to be a bit breezy at times out of the south, around 10 to 15 miles per hour. I went with a high of 67 tomorrow. Again, a couple of you could do 70. It's going to be a very nice day and not feel like mid-October around here, as you know. And then looking ahead, your 5-day forecast shows tomorrow, very nice day. Thursday, more clouds, still kind of warm, a little bit breezy, high of 64. A good chance for a few rain showers on a cold front getting in here on Friday. Not an all-day rain. Right now, timing-wise, looks like late afternoon through early evening, a high of 63. And then there's the weekend, looking pretty good, mostly cloudy on Saturday, some sunshine on Sunday with a high temperature of 63.
Spoiled. We are getting spoiled.
We really are. Those temperatures are just ideal for this time of year.
Fantastic.
So, yeah, love to see that.
All righty.
Sports is coming up next. Stay with us.
Janet Mills' education department was teaching kindergartners radical transgender policies. Now it's pushing a curriculum telling students they're racist if they use certain terms. All lives matter, mass incarceration, calling the police on black people, all racist. Janet Mills closed our schools and our kids fell behind. And now she's pushing her radical education agenda. No more politics in schools, no more Janet Mills. The top funder of the main Republican Party is the Republican Governors Association.
Think about this. Everything you own is an extension of you. Your music, your toys, your clothes. Yeah, definitely your clothes. And of course, your SUV. So now, when you custom order your new Ford SUV, get what you want, the way you want it. The accessories, the style, the stuff that makes you, you. Start your custom order at your local Ford dealer today. Lock in 3.9% for 60 months, plus $500 bonus cash when you order select Ford SUVs.
I've been having foot pain for at least 10 years. The first day I put the key boot on, I could tell the difference. My pain level has been so much better. I was amazed. The key boots made it possible for me to actually walk without pain. I can go shopping, walking around the store without wanting to cry. I mean, I feel like dancing sometimes. The key boots made all the difference. Very happy with it. Comfort shoes, it's just changed my life.
Seniors know a scam when they see one. like Bruce Poliquin.
My heart is breaking for our seniors in Maine.
He says he'll help Maine seniors. But the last time Poliquin was in Congress, he voted to cut $500 billion from Medicare. And he supports raising the retirement age for Social Security. Maine seniors can trust Jared Golden. Jared stood up to both parties to protect Social Security and Medicare.
I'm Jared Golden, and I approve this message because Maine seniors earned their retirement.
Tonight's sports is brought to you by Body Graphics Tattoo and Piercing Studio. Visit us at our new location at 27 Bangor Mall Boulevard in the Mid-Mall, 478-7856.
Welcome back in, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. Let's start with some high school sports here. Early on Tuesday, I got the chance to talk to the newest head coach of the newest high school hockey team in Maine, as Michael Keim looks to lead the Penobscot Pioneers into battle this season. Here's my interview with Coach Keim ahead of the start of the year next month. I am here with Michael Keim, new head coach of the Penobscot Pioneers. Michael, thanks for coming with us today.
Thanks for having me.
So just to start, how does it feel, the first varsity hockey girls head coach north of Winslow? How does it feel to be a Pioneer, both literally and figuratively?
Well, I've been a fan of Denver University since Jim Montgomery was there, but it's great to have Pioneers on the East Coast here. But no, it's a great opportunity to be teaching women how to play the game, and just it's awesome to have this here.
Denver University, did you catch a game this weekend with Maine?
I did not. I was watching the Greta Van Fleet concert, and then when I looked at the end time, I was a little bummed out, but that's okay. That's all right.
It was good. I mean, scored 3-1, but I digress. We'll get back on topic here. When you saw the opening for this head coaching job, what made you want to throw your name in the hat?
Well, I played hockey here since I was a kid, and I had a lot of teammates that were women. And in high school, there were a lot of women that were on a lot of teams, and that would have been an awesome opportunity for them. When I saw the opportunity, I got really excited. I talked to the missus, and she said I should go for it. And I had others around me saying that I should go for that opportunity, and I put my name in the hat. And I'm just happy that I was selected by the local ADs to lead these women. I'm looking forward to it.
Why do you think you are the right man for the job? Why do you think they threw their vote of confidence in your favor as well?
Well, I think what helped was my experience in head coaching from the prep high school, but also with the local Bangor lacrosse team that I coached there, developing trust with the players, organization with practice plans, and being able to develop more rounded people, because that's where I start with. If we make better people first, then the player will be easy enough to fix. But I think that my experience with being in the MPA and traveling and having a flexible schedule was also a bonus as well.
You were at John Bapt's behind the bench, right, as an assistant hockey coach?
Yeah, I was an assistant coach with Andy Stevenson and Chris Tanis. Andy and Chris taught me a lot about how to be a coach, and just that experience I'm going to be taking into this group here. And I think that if it works, let's keep that going.
Were there any girls on that John Bapt's team, just out of curiosity, and are they coming over to play here?
At the time when I was coaching over there, we had two. We had Kira, who was an edit, and Kayla. Kayla, who was a defenseman. I don't know if there are any BAPS players that are coming over, but I hope that they do. I hope that the women in the league come around here, because we could really make a really good push for this season and really surprise a lot of teams.
That was going to be my next question. Have you met the team yet, and what are your expectations, your initial impressions of the group?
I haven't met the team yet. I've been talking a lot with coaches that have worked with the players in the summertime, and I'm hearing a lot of really good things. Very coachable athletes, very good athletes in general. I want to see what they look like for the next couple of days on November 7th to the 9th, and then working and developing a system that works for the team.
Awesome. And then just last question, what are your next steps in the process after being selected just a couple weeks ago?
Well, I've been dusting off a couple of the books just to try to brush up on my teaching skills and whatnot, because I always think it's good to review the knowledge that you have. Also, we're going to be wrapping up some hires with my staff, because it's not just me. We're going to be having staff that are really going to be giving up their time to develop the women that we have here to really make a run at this thing.
Well, that season starts November 7th. That's when their practice starts. Looking forward to see what they can do on the ice here. Very historic team up in this area. Let's stay with some high school sports now. Let's check out some girls soccer action over at Bangor Christian. Patriots at home. They are hosting Panquist Valley. We will pick this one up late in the first half. The game's tied 1-1. Patriots looking to take a lead. Nice pass here from Grace Lewis to Libby Payne, but a nice play from Brooklyn Decker to keep the game tied. Second half now, Eileen Strout looking for Addison Conklin, and a nice save here from the Patriots. Both goalies played well. Patriots now, Lindsay Durst with a chance, but Decker there again for the save. Can't get that left foot to go. Still 1-1. Second half still, chance here for Lewis, but this one is just going to squeak by the net. It gets past Decker, but it just misses. We are still scoreless, and again, some really good goalie play from both sides in this one. And after 2 overtime periods and a scoreless second half, final score ends in a tie, 1-1. Let's go back to hockey now and down in Portland. It was back to work on Tuesday for the Maine Mariners, who held their first practice of the season. The Mariners are returning their core from last year's playoff team, who made the playoffs for the first time in program history. We have some new faces sprinkled in down there as well. And on Tuesday, there were 4 former Black Bears on the ice. Tim Doherty, Pat Shea, Cam Spicer, who's here on a tryout, and Mitch Fossier, the former captain, who says it has been a blast playing alongside some of his former college teammates.
So I know the area pretty well and got a few buddies from school on the team, so yeah, it really does. It feels like I'm kind of stepping right back into the swing of things. So cool. It's so much fun to be able to come back, and like they're 2 of my best friends, so just by chance it worked out that we all ended up on the same team. So yeah, it's a blast, and I'm getting a room with a few of them right now, so it makes it so much more fun to be able to experience something like that with them.
Sounds good to me. It looks like a blast down there. Can't wait for that season to start. Hopefully they are back in the playoffs like they were last year. That is all the time we have for sports, though. We will be right back after the break.
I have a great job. I get up early, head on out, and I get to work. I install solar panels. They power our homes and give me a great paycheck. When Paul LePage was governor, he opposed projects like this, putting Maine last for solar jobs in New England. He even said that climate change wasn't a threat to Maine. Look, we need more of these jobs, and that won't happen if we go back to Paul LePage.
The top funder of Better Maine is the Democratic Governors Association.
Say goodbye to lag times and death spirals with our crazy fast fiber internet. At GoNet Speed, we've dropped our prices on fiber. That means hello to fast fiber internet starting at just $49.95 per month. Or go up to 1 gig, that's 1,000 megabits per second, for only $69.95 a month. The lowest prices we've ever offered. No contract, no hidden fees, no joke. Visit GoNetspeed.com to check availability in your area.
The better way to a better window. Renewal by Anderson.
Hi everyone, it's Troy Pearl. Prices are going up on everything, but we can help bring your energy costs down. All this month, when you buy 4 of our energy-saving windows, we'll give you a 5th for free, plus an additional $150 off your entire project. For a free in-home consultation, visit rbagreatermaine.com.
The better way to a better window. Renewal by Anderson.
Don't be scared to buy a boat this season at Hamlin's Marine on the Belfast waterfront. Starting October 18th and running through Halloween, this is your ticket to the best boat deals completely scare-free. Featuring all-in-stock boat packages, outboards, boats, and trailers 15 to 25% off. Spooky good deals. At Hamlin's Marine, we are powered by Yamaha Outboard, and we have more than 20 boat packages on display with easy loader trailers too. Stop into the Belfast waterfront and don't be scared to buy a boat at Hamlin's Marine.
I'm a Republican.
I'm a Republican.
I was a Republican state senator, and I voted for Paul LePage, but I won't again.
Never again.
Tantrums, distractions,
fighting.
It's just bad behavior that costs Maine.
Janet Mills, she brings people together.
She doesn't care whose idea it is.
As long as it's good for Maine.
She balanced budgets without raising taxes.
We're Mainers.
Not complainers.
And that's why I'm voting for Janet Mills.
She fights problems, not people.
And that's our kind of governor.
Hey, I'm Jerry O'Connell. Join me this fall right here on Fox 22 at 10 a.m. for Pictionary.
Welcome back. A legendary singer encourages everyone to vote. A popular comedy duo re-team up for a new film and more. Fox's Ashley Dvorkin has the latest from the Hollywood Nation.
Just be who you are, Selena.
Gomez opens up, Key and Peele reunite, and Nick sends a message in the Hollywood Nation. Fleetwood Mac legend Stevie Nicks is releasing a new song. The singer shared a personal statement on social media urging Americans to register to vote ahead of today's deadline for the November 8th midterm elections. Her impassioned message addresses the issues of abortion and individual rights. The post includes a poem titled Get It Back that she wrote and recorded while on the road for her current solo tour.
Greetings. We are the Magician Morticians.
Today's first looks includes a new collaboration between beloved comedic duo Keegan-Michael Key and Jordan Peele. Netflix released the full trailer to the stop-motion animated film Wendell and Wild. Key and Peele play two demon brothers who trick a troubled teen into bringing them from the underworld into the land of the living. The horror comedy debuts October 28th.
I am grateful to be alive.
And Selena Gomez honored World Mental Health Day on Monday by sharing a new trailer to her upcoming documentary, My Mind and Me. The preview expands on her mental health struggles and lupus diagnosis, featuring raw footage from her personal everyday life. It premieres on Apple TV Plus November 4th.
This is the beginning for me.
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Well, a university study says meditation can possibly help ward off Alzheimer's disease. Scientists at a French university say meditation boosts awareness, attention, and emotional health, all of which decline later in life. The study reviewed a group of men and women over the course of 18 months. Some meditated and others studied a non-native language. Those who meditated performed better at social and emotional tests.
The breath leave the body.
Finally tonight, the fans have decided Taco Bell is bringing back its Enchirito to the menu after nearly a decade. The fast food chain allowed fans to choose which discontinued menu item it would bring back. It was between the Enchirito or the double-decker taco. The Enchirito was the clear fan favorite with more than 62% of the votes. It will be available for a limited time only, though, from November 17th through the 30th. Seems like a pretty short window, but I don't know. I've never tried one.
Yeah, you'd think they'd bring it back for longer. If they've been discontinued for that long and that many people wanted to see a return, you'd think they'd, leave it up for a little bit longer than what they are.
Yeah, it looks pretty tasty. Have you ever tried one? I know it was a while ago. I've never.
If I have, I don't recall,
right.
But, I'm a big fan of,
yeah,
all food really, but
yeah.
Tex-Mex for sure.
Yeah, Taco Bell's up there as well. They played this game with the Mexican pizza, discontinuing it and then bringing it back. So we'll see if it's really here for just a limited time or if they're going to bring it back in the future.
Yeah, we'll definitely keep our eye on that for
Time
sure.
will tell.
All righty.
All right,
That is going to do it for us, folks. Take care. Have a great night.
Night.